We all want big results. We dream of achieving more, being better, getting ahead. But we all think they have to come through big breakthroughs or overnight success. And that's just not true. The real secret to success is in the small wins, the little victories, the little changes that we make that effectively over time create the results we want. This is called microefficiencies. Think of it like this. If you improve just 1% every day, in the beginning you're not going to notice anything, but over time those little changes create the results you want. Microefficiencies are the small, repeatable actions that make life smoother, increase your energy, and bring results. These don't take a lot of time. In fact, just a few minutes a day can impact you and make the transformations you want. Here's what microefficiencies actually look like. They are setting your clothes out the night before to save you 10 minutes in the morning. They're having a water bottle on your desk that keeps you hydrated. It's using the calendar in your phone to block off 30 minutes a day so that you can focus on something that's important to you. Now, these small, tiny habits may not be life-changing on their own, but stack them together and your life starts to transform. Your mindset shifts, you waste less time, you're more organized, and all of this starts to build your confidence one decision at a time. Our world pushes the model of go big or go home. Social media is filled with instant results, big wins, people transforming their lives in 30 days. But that's not realistic for most people. Most people are juggling jobs, kids, stress. They have more things on their plate than they know how to handle. That's why micro-efficiencies matter so much. They're the tiny little steps. They don't take a lot of time, but they will transform you. But you need intention. So start small. Do tasks that only take a couple of minutes, like cleaning out one drawer or one area of your room, replying to one email, going for a short break outside. All of these little things are going to start to move you in the right direction. And once you start stacking wins, your brain starts to trust you. You start to feel better. Momentum starts to pick up. And if you do get off track, you know that you can get back on quickly by making the little changes again. And look, some days you're going to be off. Some days you're going to miss the workout. You're going to forget to do certain tasks, and that's okay. Micro-efficiencies isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Choose progress, always. If you want to change your life, don't think about massive overhaul. Start with the small, little intentional decisions. It's one routine that saves you 10 minutes a day. It's one healthy meal that replaces your usual diet. It's 30 minutes of stillness instead of 30 minutes of scrolling. This is how habits are built. This is how confidence is earned, with tiny steps repeated daily. Because when you do the little things right, the big things take care of themselves. If not now, then when? Seriously, if you're waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect mood, the perfect plan, you might be waiting forever. See, life doesn't slow down so you can catch up. Time doesn't pause just because you're not ready. The truth is, urgency is your ally, and now is all you've got. Too many people treat life like they've got unlimited chances, like they can always start tomorrow. But how many tomorrows have you already let slip away? Let me remind you that your dream, your goal, that thing you keep saying you want, it won't wait forever. Not because it's going anywhere, but because you are. Days will pass, months will pass, and before you know it, you're stuck in the same spot, wondering how the time disappeared. This isn't about panic, it's about purpose. Now, you don't need to hustle yourself into exhaustion, but you do need to wake yourself up. Because motivation doesn't always knock. It's something you have to ignite. And urgency is the spark. Because you've got goals, you've got ideas, you've got things inside you that could change your life or someone else's. But none of it happens without action. And action needs fuel. It needs a reason that's bigger than your excuses. What would change in your life if you treated every day like it mattered? What if you woke up with the mindset that, I don't want to waste another minute? How would you move? How would you speak? What decisions would you make differently? This is your reminder. You do have what it takes, but you need to act like it. Don't wait to feel motivated. Don't wait to feel ready. Create the energy by taking the first step. Start moving and your mind will catch up. See, action creates momentum, and momentum builds motivation. And no, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be now. Write the first line of the book, make the call, put on your shoes and get moving, take the class, post the video, have the conversation, whatever it is, start. Don't overthink it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Just move. Because when you act with urgency, you send a message to yourself and to the world, I'm serious. I'm here. I'm not waiting for life to happen. I'm making it happen. People who succeed aren't always the smartest. They're not always the most talented, but they are hungry. They treat their time like it matters. They don't wait to be chosen. They choose themselves. So if you've been stuck, tired, lost in hesitation, this is your moment. Feel the urgency. Not because you're afraid of running out of time, but because you value the time you have. This is your life. It's not a rehearsal. It's not a warm-up. This is it. So light that fire. Start where you are. And let the urgency push you toward everything you're capable of becoming. Just because somebody else doesn't see your value doesn't mean you're worthless. And just because somebody else discards you doesn't mean you're garbage. People will overlook you. They'll talk over you, walk past you. They'll treat you like you're invisible. But here's the truth. Their opinion doesn't define your value. Your worth isn't decided by how loud you are, how popular you are, or how many people cheer you on. You were born worthy. That doesn't change just because the world forgot to clap for you. See, too many people spend their lives trying to earn what they already have. They chase approval. They bend, shrink, and twist themselves into shapes just to fit into someone else's frame. And still they feel empty. Why? Because deep down, they've started to believe the lie that if they don't see my value, maybe I don't have any. And that lie is poison, and it spreads. Because it shows up when you second guess your decisions, when you stop yourself from speaking up, when you stay in places that drain you, relationships that break you, or jobs that don't see you. All because you've been trained to believe that validation comes from the outside. It's from applause, from likes, from someone else saying you're enough. But you are enough, right now, as you are. Self-worth isn't about being perfect. It's not about having it all together. It's about recognizing that even in your struggle, even in your pain, you are valuable. You matter and you belong. But just so we understand, you won't always feel this way. There will be days when your self-esteem drops, when comparison creeps in, when someone says something that cuts deep and you start to question everything. That's normal. That's being human. But here's what you must remember. Feelings are temporary. Worth is not. You're not defined by who left you, who hurt you, who overlooked you. You're not defined by your lowest moments, your worst mistakes, or the things you regret. You are bigger than that, deeper than that, brighter than that. Start reclaiming your worth. Stop waiting for others to tell you who you are. And start reminding yourself of your strengths, your resilience. The fact that you've survived 100% of your worst days and you're still here, that alone is power. Surround yourself with people who lift you, who speak life into you, who see your light even when you forget you have one. And most of all, do the work. Build yourself up one day, one habit, one win at a time. Keep promises you've made to yourself. Take care of your body, invest in your growth, and forgive yourself for the past. That's self-worth in action. Don't let the noise of the world drown out your truth. Don't let rejection write your story. Don't let someone's inability to see your value trick you into thinking that you have none. You're not here to be small. You're not here to please everyone. You're not here to earn love. You're here to live, to grow, and to rise. Remember this, their blindness doesn't take away your beauty. Their silence doesn't erase your voice. And their ignorance doesn't cancel your value. You are worthy, fully, deeply, unquestionably, whether they see it or not. And the moment you start believing in your worth, the world starts catching up. We live in a world addicted to noise. Music in our ears, notifications pinging, videos playing in the background, a constant stream of voices, updates, opinions, and distractions. And most of us, we've become terrified of silence. Because silence forces us to meet the person we've always been avoiding, ourselves. When was the last time you sat still and truly listened to what was going on inside you? Not scrolling, not multitasking, not filling the space with mindless chatter. Just sitting, breathing, hearing the thoughts you keep pushing down. A lot of people are running from themselves, drowning out the discomfort of their own thoughts. Probably afraid of what they might hear if they slow down long enough to actually listen. So they stay busy, they stay noisy. They keep moving, thinking that if they just stay distracted, they won't have to confront what's really there. But here's the secret no one tells you. The silence you're avoiding, it's where all your answers reside. When you finally get quiet, you start to understand what's been holding you back. You start to hear the fears that have been running the show from behind the scenes. You start to notice the dreams you've been ignoring because they felt inconvenient or risky. You start to reconnect with the version of yourself you abandoned trying to keep up with everyone else. And that's where the real power begins. Because clarity doesn't come from adding more noise. It comes from subtraction, from stillness, from asking yourself the hard questions and waiting long enough to hear the answers. Questions like, am I living the life I actually want? Or the one I thought I was supposed to want? What's been bothering me that I keep brushing under the rug? Who am I when no one's watching? And I know it can be uncomfortable. You might not love everything you find when you go inward. But that's the point. Growth doesn't come from pretending. Change doesn't come from avoidance. Transformation starts when you finally sit with the raw, unfiltered truth of where you are and who you've become. Once you stop filling the silence and start listening to yourself, you realize you've had the answers all along. You've been waiting for someone else to give you permission, to hand you the map, to show you the way. But the whole time, it was already inside you, buried under the noise. So if you're feeling stuck, lost, uninspired, maybe the solution isn't doing more. Maybe it's doing less. Maybe it's turning the volume down on the world and turning it up on your own inner voice. Block out the distractions. Sit with silence and listen. Because that voice inside of you, it's not just noise. It's wisdom. It's guidance. It's the key to everything you've been searching for. Stop running. Stop filling the quiet. And finally, hear yourself speak. There comes a moment in life when you have to ask yourself, am I really giving it everything I've got? Not just in your career, your relationships, or your ambitions, but in the way you show up every single day. Your life is a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. Not your wishes, not your dreams, your standards. Because we don't get what we want in life, we get what we're willing to tolerate. I think everybody wants success, however it's defined. You may want financial freedom, great health, fulfilling relationships, but look around. If it were just about wanting, wouldn't more people have it? The difference is in the standard. Some people see excellence as optional, while others see it as a non-negotiable. Some accept excuses, while others demand results. The question is, what type of person are you? Look at the areas of your life where you feel stuck, where you feel frustrated, where you know deep down that you're settling for less than you're capable of. Now ask yourself, what am I tolerating here? Are you tolerating negative self-talk? Are you tolerating poor discipline? Are you tolerating an environment that drains you? Because the moment you raise your standard, that's the moment everything starts to shift. When you decide that being out of shape is no longer acceptable, your body changes. When you decide that mediocrity in your career is no longer acceptable, your work ethic changes. When you decide that toxic relationships are no longer acceptable, your boundaries change. Nothing changes until you demand more from yourself. Your standards shape your identity. Your standards define who you are. If you say you're someone who values excellence, but you let yourself cut corners, that's not a high standard. That's just a hopeful idea. A person with high standards doesn't talk about them, they live them. If you truly hold yourself to a standard of discipline, you don't skip workouts because you're tired. If you have a standard for self-respect, you don't stay in places where you're unappreciated. If you set a standard for success, you don't let failure break you. You use it as fuel. It's not about being perfect. It's about refusing to accept less than what you know you're capable of. People can sense the difference between someone who's half in and someone who's all in. Think about the athletes who demand excellence from themselves every day. The business leaders who never stop learning. The artists who refuse to settle for average work. They don't just show up when they feel like it. They show up because their standard requires them to. And when you carry yourself with that same level of commitment, the world responds. Opportunities find you. The right people respect you. We've all been there, sitting on an idea, a dream, or a goal, waiting for the stars to align, for everything to be just right. And we tell ourselves, I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start when it's perfect. But let me tell you something, if you're waiting for perfect, you'll be waiting forever. I remember my first attempts, my early videos, the rough drafts, the projects I now look back on and cringe. The sound was bad, my delivery was awkward. I stumbled over my words and over myself. But here's what matters. I started. Because starting isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing. Willing to show up as you are. Willing to try. Willing to learn and improve as you go. That's how greatness begins, not with perfection, but with action. We've all seen someone who's incredible at what they do, like a speaker or an athlete, an entrepreneur, and we think, wow, they were born for this. But what we don't see are the messy beginnings, their struggles, the awkward starts they had, the years of trial and error before they ever got good. No one starts as a master, no one. Every great success story begins the same way, with a decision to begin, imperfectly, boldly, and sometimes clumsily. You see, starting is where the magic happens. It's where you take an idea that's living in your head and breathe life into it. Starting creates momentum. It builds confidence. It moves you forward, even if the steps are small. But if you wait, if you tell yourself, I'll start when I'm ready, you're robbing yourself of the chance to grow. You're letting fear win. And here's the thing about fear, it's a liar. Fear tells you that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that people will judge you. But fear forgets to mention that the only way to get better is to begin. So let this be your reminder. Start now. Start scared. Start messy. Start imperfect. Write the book, even if the first words are awful. Post the video, even if the editing isn't perfect. Step on stage, even if your voice shakes. Launch the business, even if you're not sure how it will go. Because perfection is a myth, and progress comes with action. You adjust, you improve, you get better along the way. It's like the sculptor working with a rough block of stone. If they waited for the perfect vision of the final masterpiece before touching the tools, nothing would ever be created. Instead, they chip away at it, bit by bit, until beauty emerges. Well, you're the sculptor. Your dream is the masterpiece, but you can't shape it until you pick up the tools and get to work. Stop waiting. Stop overthinking. The starting line is right in front of you, and the only thing you need to do is take one step. That's it. One small, imperfect step forward. Because in a year from now, you won't regret the mistakes you made while trying. You'll regret not starting sooner. So whatever it is that's been living inside you, start now. Your future self will thank you for the courage to begin. Anxiety can feel like a storm inside your mind. It's restlessness, fear, and uncertainty that pulls you in every direction. If you've ever felt that knot in your chest, that racing heartbeat, or those spiraling thoughts that seem impossible to stop, well, you're not alone. Anxiety affects millions of people, but truth is, you can overcome it. You are stronger than the thoughts that try to weigh you down, and with the right tools, you can take back control of your life. First, let's accept that anxiety is real, but so is your strength. Anxiety doesn't mean you're broken. It's a natural response to stress, uncertainty, and fear. But just because it's normal doesn't mean it has to control you. You are not defined by your anxiety. The thoughts in your head are just that, thoughts, not facts. You might not feel it now, but deep inside, you have the power to manage this. Remind yourself that you have survived 100% of your worst days so far, and you'll get through this too. Second, focus on your breathing. When anxiety grips you, your breathing can become your anchor. Slow, Deep breathing signals your body to relax, shifting you out of panic mode. Try this the next time anxiety strikes. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. And then exhale gently for 4 seconds. This isn't magic, but it's biology. When you control your breath, you calm your nervous system. Third, actions beat anxiety. Anxiety thrives in the mind, especially when you stay stuck in thought. The antidote is action. You don't have to solve every problem in your life today, but you can do one small thing that moves you forward. Break tasks into small steps. Focus on just the next step, not the whole journey. Shift your energy through movement. Go for a walk, stretch, or move your body to release tension. Each small action chips away at anxiety, giving you a sense of control. Number 4, talk back to your inner critic. Anxiety often disguises itself as your own voice, whispering things like, "What if it all goes wrong?" Or, "You're not good enough." But you don't have to believe everything you think. When those anxious thoughts creep in, challenge them by saying, "Is that really true?" Or, "What's the worst that could happen?" Replace fear-based thoughts with empowering ones. Instead of, "I'll never get through this," try, "I'm doing the best I can, and that's enough." Your mind works for you, not the other way around. Start training it to support your goals instead of feeding your fears. Number 5, focus on the present moment. Anxiety pulls you into the future, making you worry about what might happen. But the truth is, the present moment is all we have. Train yourself to come back to it. Use your senses. What can you see, hear, smell, and feel right now? Practice gratitude. What's one thing you're thankful for in this moment? When you focus on now, anxiety loses its grip. The future isn't here yet. Don't let it rob you of today. And number 6, you are not alone. One of the worst things anxiety does is make you feel isolated, as if no one else understands. But you're not alone. So many others are walking the same path, learning to manage anxiety day by day. Reach out and talk to someone you trust. Whether it's a friend, family member, or professional, sharing your thoughts can lift the burden. Know that you don't have to carry this alone. Help is available, and asking for it is a sign of strength, not weakness. Overcoming anxiety isn't about making it disappear forever. It's about learning to live fully, even when it shows up. It's about finding your courage, even when the fear is present. It's about building mental strength one moment at a time. You are not your anxiety. You are bigger, stronger, and more capable than the thoughts trying to hold you back. Take a breath, take the next step, and keep moving forward, one day at a time. Remind yourself, you've got this.